Listen live. Okay. All right. We are going to have our illicit therapy session, and we will talk about the misconceptions of people cheating in relationships. That is a big, big problem that we have, and I don't know if it's a real problem. Let's not say that it's a real problem. I don't think that it is, but it is something that what's going on, Jay? It is something that people kind of perceive men as doing all the time. They always state that men are cheaters, and that if a man isn't cheating, then he's not providing, and that's a big problem. Typically, with this, this is actually on YouTube as well. I took a little pivot with this Twitter space or this Twitter account and my YouTube channel. I usually talk about games, and it's fine. I'll continue to talk about games, and I will start talking about things like this: actual therapy sessions, illicit therapy sessions, where it's not like anything legal or whatnot. This is just kind of letting the gaming space really talk about actual problems, stuff that we kind of deal with on a daily basis. We typically go into these video game worlds and try to hide from the real world. And why not talk about shit like this? Why not talk about what could possibly be affecting us in the real world? Why not? I don't feel like there's a problem discussing things of that nature. There was a kind of a discussion that I had regarding, making a whole new Twitter channel and or Twitter, account and a YouTube channel and all this other stuff. And I don't think that that would be necessary because we, as adults, can have these discussions. We can have these discussions. Give me a second here. We can have these discussions. What's going on, Miss Hart? What's going on? And Nelson Gaming. I'm gonna try to keep myself focused. That's why I'm not really acknowledging too much right now to keep myself focused because I suck at it. Let me just turn down the volume here, so I feel like I'm clipping and all sorts of shit. So one of the things that you will see on YouTube, right, or not YouTube, on Twitter, is that you see a lot of people will create these Twitter Spaces. If you don't know, Twitter Spaces is basically like a Discord chat from the people with the people on Twitter, and everybody would make a little subject, and you could jump in and request to, speak and raise your hand and everything like that. But there's constant scrutiny and there's constant complaints when someone wants to kind of deviate from the gaming space. And I don't give a fuck anymore, truthfully. I'm not gonna sit there and you can't tell me what to do with my shit. So either way, without further ado, let me put this in the jumbotron so you guys can see exactly what's going on. You and you. Today's episode is going to be about why do men cheat, and I found like a really cool article regarding um, the perception of men and why they cheat. And you hear this all the time on social media where women will be really pissed off with men. They will be really upset and state that men ain't shit. Men is always chasing the JJ anywhere they go. They are not ever loyal. Um, Men always hurt women, and I don't feel like that's fair at all to say. I just don't. I don't feel like it's a fair assessment. What I do know is that as an adult, two people need to understand that a relationship is something that needs to be worked upon on both ends. You just cannot blame one side and not ever show accountability for things that you may be doing. That's a big problem with people nowadays. No one wants to take accountability. Not just females, but no one wants to take accountability for their actions. And so I kind of dug up some stuff, which I posted in the Twitter space if you wanted to take a look at that. But I dug up some things about why people perceive, why would a man cheat? And I'll go into why a man would cheat. Let me see here, just making sure. I keep seeing flashes of shit that's on the side of my screen. So I'll read this whole thing. Actually, I'll break it up in pieces. So on the link that's in the Twitter space, you'll see here, Jeff from Portland says that all of his affairs were fairly emotionless. He keeps his wife and his lover in separate boxes in his brain. This person is for love and this person is for sex. There is no confusion over who is who, he says. Now, believe it or not, that is a lot to fucking unpack there. That's a lot to unpack. Because the situation here states that it's almost condoning the fact that it's like he didn't care about it. You know what I mean? Like he didn't really care about cheating. And I need to stress out, and I think the more people understand this, the more people will be in a better place as to what's happening. I cannot stress this enough that men and women are not the same. They're not the same, and they will never be the same. There is nothing that you can do to make that a thing. We will never be the same, and that's okay. You don't want to have too much of one thing, just in general. What I do say is that that statement where he says that his wife and his lover are in separate boxes is absolutely accurate. As people that are, women that are listening to this or find this video or have ever contemplated or thought about what's going on, I need you to understand that a man is just not like this at all. We will never be like this. We don't get emotional when it comes to sex. We don't get emotional when it comes to sex. On average, because there's always somebody that will mention an outlier, like, well, this guy does this and this. There's more to it than a sexual connection. I mean, there's more to it when a guy is having sex than us just falling head over heels. Some guys and some women can't differentiate the good sex from actual having affection for that person. You know what I'm saying? And I think that gets a lot of people in trouble. I think there's a lot of women that will mess with a guy that is overly masculine, and he will just blow, like, let's be adults here. He'll blow her back out, right? He'll blow her back out, and then she falls in love with the situation. Not the guy, but the situation. And so any red flags that were there, she ignores. And she will keep trying to justify why she's there. They get that high, they get that masculinity, they get a whole bunch of different things. If you're a woman and you know deep down inside, you know what this shit is. You know that that's the situation. It is what it is. And that's fine. That is fine. But just realize this, though. Men and women are not the same. We don't view sex as something that is an emotional bond where women do. Now, one could ask in this situation, why would a guy decide to pick another woman, right? Why is he looking for another woman? And that's an interesting question. If he has a wife, why would you be looking for something else? And the answer should be clear. The answer should be really clear. If he's looking outside of his relationship for sex, there's a deficiency somewhere. And a lot of times when people are married or get caught up in marriage, what happens with them is that they get too comfortable in the relationship and it becomes too individualized. They don't work as a unit anymore, especially in these modern times. It's like you don't want to cater to each other in the ways that each other cares about being catered to. Women like attention. That's definitely true. And men fail to give the woman attention because he has a lot of distractions, such as video games, his friends, overtime at work, stress, all sorts of situations like this. And a woman won't want to give a man what he wants out of a relationship. Guess why? Because she's not giving him sex. It's that simple. Oh, somebody's requesting. Who that? If I'm gonna let you in. If you are going to troll, I'm gonna eject you. Yeah, I had a troll last week, so I don't want to be harsh, but I gotta run this fucking show as it is. Movie, what's going on, man?
Well, if I could speak from, can you hear me? I'm on this AirPods. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Okay.
How are you? How are you?
I'm very well, man. I'm getting good. I'm getting married, and I got the venue set up. I'm getting married really well. It's all, I'm doing good. But
Good shit.
yeah, exactly. So when you say everything that you're saying, right, like why men cheat, so on, the sex and the thing and that, and so forth, and the way I view it is like, don't get me wrong, like I'm a man, right? I've done the things I've wanted to do, and after a certain point, when I fuck around, like fuck around meaning that when I mess around with another chick that isn't my wife, I don't view it as because she's doing anything wrong, right? I don't view it that way. She's doing everything right. You know, she's a good homemaker. She pleases my needs and so on and so forth. Like I have no like I don't when I fuck around, it's not an anger of her like, oh, if she did this, I wouldn't be doing this. No, not at all. I view it in the sense that she is above the line or above what I would do to somebody else that isn't my wife. For example, you can get a little dirty here, just for example. You can cut me off if you want to, that's fine. But like for
Oh
example,
no. I don't do that here. As long as you're not trolling me,
no.
I'm looking for the I'm seeking the truth.
Yeah, so for my truth, and I've heard this around some other people because I used to talk to some like hardcore Italians back in the day. Like I don't talk to them anymore just because I moved away and stuff. But from their point of view and what I can agree with their point of view is that the shit that I would do to somebody else, like to some random female, to some random little hoe, is not what I would be doing to my wife. For example, like like gagging, choking, like fucking just dominating, so on and so forth. So I would view that in the sense of like, okay, so I'm not going to do it to my wife because there's a certain amount of respect when we have a sexual relationship. There's a certain amount of respect in the sense that, hey, I'm not going to do that to you because you're not just some random little hoe. You are the mother of my children. You are my wife. You're the person I chose to spend the rest of my life with, and I respect you for that. And I'm gonna, like show that in my manner of love making and so forth, and my life and so forth, to give you that. But at the end of the day, there are certain things that I won't be able to get from you. There isn't, you know. So if I step out to get that, right, to make myself a better father, better husband, I'm going to do that because I feel, and this is from what I've talked to people, and they can agree to this, is that the only reason that we're stepping out like that is because if we did that to you, choking, like fucking choking, gagging, dominating, so on and so on. And this is just like the vague classifications that I can't say. I don't know if this is a over 18 thing. You know,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly,
No,
yeah,
we're adults. A
exactly.
lot of people don't want to talk about this stuff because they are afraid of the gender dynamics of things. Now, I do have a question for you. So you say you're about to get married, is that right?
That's right. That's right.
Are you still stepping out?
Out of respect for her, in the last like 6 months that we really made it official and decided, like, you know what? Oh, we're gonna get married. No, no, right? So before that, when we were serious, because we've been together for about 4 years, before that, and the 6 months before that, yeah, of course, because like I didn't know if this was like a legit thing, so on and so forth. I would, it's a matter of respect. I would think so. So, okay, hey, we're getting married. How fucked up of a man or how fucked up of a husband would I be if I'm stepping out 2, 3, 4, 6 months before actual setting the wedding date. That's the way I see it, right? That's
So let me ask you, if right, you've been married for like you're settled in for a year, right? Would you step out then?
for a year. No, no. The rule is 5 years. No, no.
Five.
The rule is okay. So 5 years if there's no children. 2 years in, if there is children, you can step out because they're.
When I say and you know what I mean by stepping
Of
out,
course,
right?
yeah, of course. Like
Like,
yeah. So
So
if there's
going to the candy store.
exactly. So if it's the rule is that if there's if you have children, right, and her attention is elsewhere, she tries as much as she can because she's a good wife. Why would she not be if you're fucking marrying her, right? She's a good wife because she's a good wife. She's a good fucking companion. She's a good fucking lover. That's why you're marrying her. You're not marrying to have some bullshit fucking like, oh, I got her pregnant, so I have to marry her. No, that isn't that's not a fucking link for marriage. That is not a strong link for marriage ever. There should never be like some sort of shocking wedding type of shit. But the rule is, and this is what I've heard third hand, right? The rule is that if you have kids 2 years after marriage, her attention is elsewhere. She can only do so much because being a wife is hard work. Being a mother is so much hard work. And then you have your husband asking you to do this every fucking 3 days, 2 days. For me, it's like every 3 days, right? So, like, they can't keep up with that. It just wears them to the bone. It stresses them the fuck out, which is totally understandable. So you give it 2 years out of respect for your family fucking unit, right? Oh, you have a...
And this is why I say this, right? Because I remember, if I don't know how long you were here, but what I was saying is that because of a man and his logical brain, he compartmentalizes things. That's what we do.
Oh, that's right, and that's totally right.
And a lot of women, when women tend to project themselves onto men, and they believe that they function like women, and we don't. And societies they've even built up this rhetoric that men and women are the same, and we will never be the same. We don't have the chemical levels to ever be the same, ever, never, and never, ever. So I'm not condoning a man cheating, because I feel like if whatever two adults consent to should be between them first and foremost, and that is contained within that particular relationship dynamic. You know what I'm saying? There is a standard. I don't want to say normal, but let's just say standard. And then there are exceptions to the standard. What I had mentioned earlier is that if a guy is cheating on his wife or girlfriend, it is usually because there is a deficiency somewhere. And then I go on to mention, right?
That's right.
The reason why this happens, like for the man side of things, the reason why he would go out and cheat, and it's very simple, is because a man is not getting sex or getting the sex that he wants, right? So he will look. So he will. But give me a second. He will look elsewhere, right? And usually the dynamic is this: is because the woman, because of where we are at in terms of modern times, she's going to be too damn tired because she's also working.
Also being a homemaker, also being a mother. Of course, it's overworked.
Is your fiance? Is she working right now?
Yeah, she is.
She's working full. She's have a whole on job, right?
A full-time job, and you know why? And this is like a whole thing. And I've heard this from a lot of females that I've talked to, like in the last 3, 5, the last 10 years. You know, when females, a certain type of females want to have their every need met. And that's not going to happen. That's why it's a give and fucking take. That's why there's a relationship. There's a 50-50 percentage. A lot of females view it as a sense of like, no, you're my husband. You should be meeting my every need, whether it be money, whether it be friends, whether it be a social life, and whether it be sexually. And you know what? There's no man alive that can meet every one of those needs ever.
Society has built this rhetoric that there is some sort of perfect man. Yanni, what's going on? Haven't ever spoken to you in the voice in a tangible space. What's going on? Are you there?
Hello?
Hey.
Sorry, I had my mic off. But yeah, can you hear me properly and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I can hear you properly. Sure.
Okay, so I just want to point out, like, yeah, you are right. Like, obviously, there will be needs that obviously men and women won't be able to meet. But my question is like, you know how they say that men know who they're going to marry after like 6 months or whatever of being in a relationship? Like, they don't have to be with that person for like 5+ years and stuff like that to know that they want to marry them.
Yep.
So, like, my question is, if you know that that person you want to marry within like those 6 months period, whatever short period that you're with them, why would you cheat?
So there's, I want to, and I'll let you go. I'll let you go, movie. But let me say this really quickly, because I thought about this a lot. There's two parts of this answer, because it's essentially right. The dating game is fucked up right now.
Yeah.
It is hella fucked up, right? So a lot of the times, a man will hold on to something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows it's very difficult, same thing with women, to get another. We're a little more practical with it, but he knows that really I don't want, this is not everything that I want. And let me say this, it doesn't function, and I can't stress this enough. Women believe that a man there's so much emotion, and I love this girl, and when we have sex, that's how it works with us. Oh, I love her. Oh my gosh, I want to cuddle with her. Let me just say this, and I can't say this enough, and this needs to be disseminated as much as possible. A man can fuck a watermelon whole. We don't care. If there's no love, there's no love with it. We love when a woman can respect us. And we love when a woman could, care enough about or care enough for us to meet our needs. Believe it or not, contrary to belief, right? If a woman can meet our needs, we will do anything for a woman. Anything. And it's very simple. Men are extremely simple to please. Mm-hmm. It's really just don't nag and have sex. It's the two prerequisites.
That I do understand, but the thing is, there is like, from personal experience, I don't like to put my business out here, but it is true. From personal experience, like, let's say I've met my ex's needs and stuff like that, whatever. But the thing is, some men are just bound to cheat. Like, with experience with his ex-girlfriend and stuff like that, talked to her, whatever, she said the same exact thing. Homeboy has a whole new partner now, same exact thing. That's why I'm just like, men, and on top of that, mind you, ex-girlfriend, baby, has a baby, new girlfriend, baby on the way, and homeboy is still cheating. So what is the whole concept of it?
Well, let me let movie go into this and answer his side of this piece.
If I could speak about that, right? So let's just take that situation into play. A man, this person, right? This person has a kid on the way. He already has a kid, right? He has another kid on the way, and he's still fucking around. That person is not. That person is.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, bro.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
It's better now. It's better.
Oh, okay, so to answer your question, Yanni, that person, to take that situation into play, this person has a baby already, and then he also has another.
Oh, you're breaking up again. You sounded digitized, man. Why is it every time when somebody say something good, it's breaking up, man? Fuck Twitter, man.
He sounds pixelized.
Yeah, like every time somebody's trying to say something decent, yo, this Twitter be acting dumb. It's better now, and you're louder too. It's good.
Okay, because I had the AirPods on. I don't know if they don't catch everything. It's like a whole thing. So to answer your question, Yanni, so this person has a baby already, and now he has another baby on the way. and he's still fucking around. And you know what? And you mentioned that he has not married either or. This person is not a man. This person pretends to be a man. He gives the allure of a man, right? A person who has everything on lock, knows what he wants, so on and so forth. But that's not the case. Because the fact of the matter is that when a man messes around like that, he does it to keep his family unit secure. There is no part like for a side female, for a side girl, there is no partnership. This is no partnership. This is not a relationship. This is fun. You want to have fun. I want to have fun on the side. This is not serious. You try and catch feelings. You know what? I'm gonna lock that down. No, this is not like no. I'm not gonna go against my wife. This is my fucking wife. I'm not. You're not gonna take me away from that. That's the main difference. I could not tell you. Like, don't get me wrong. I fuck around, right? But I talk to a lot of women. I talk to a lot of women, a lot of adult women. They have their jobs. They have their houses. They have this or that. And the amount of times that they are so surprised when they start talking to me, I have my home, I have my car, I have my furniture, I have my fucking food full of pantry. My food pantry is full. I can cook. How often do you see that? And if I could assume, is never. It's never.
So I have a question for you, movie, and I want to pair this with Yanni. I want to see what she thinks about this. So I see some of the stuff that you post up on Twitter and stuff like that. I kind of stay on the sidelines because people be misconstruing shit. So, but you mentioned that you don't want to bring that into the bedroom in terms of the kinks that you do like, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We'll keep it light. What if she wanted this by name, the choking and stuff like that in the rough?
Then I'm gonna do it.
Would you go out of marriage?
So if those needs that I like and my wife is like liking that as well, would I still step out? The answer would be yes and no. Yes and no, because in that sense, if I can go into it a little bit. So if all my needs are being met, there's no reason for me to step out. There's no of course, like why, like if I'm getting everything at home, why would I step out? Because at the end of the day, but at the same time, if I'm hanging out with my homeboys, if I'm chilling out, I'm having fun, and I have a tight little 22-year-old, 25-year-old little blonde, like throwing everything at me, how could a person say no? How could anybody say no? And I could say that anybody.
What Yanni would say, or what most women would say, is that you should have a certain loyalty for your wife. Am I correct, Yanni?
I'm sorry, hold on, give me a second. Okay, so basically from what I do think is that how do I put it? So my question to you is,
you're just a little low. You're just a little low.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
A little bit. You need to be a little bit louder.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yeah. Good.
Okay. So basically, what my question is like, so all of your needs are getting met, but my thing is, what if those things were getting met before your marriage? But the thing is also like, how would you feel if your wife? Because I know for a fact there's like a whole lot of double standards for men. So let's say if a man cheats and a woman takes them back, oh, they're okay. But if a woman cheats on them, it's like the whole end of the world. While the man has been cheating on her for like 20 plus times.
If I could tell you, Yanni, you hit the nail on the fucking head. There are double standards. I'm not contesting that fact at all. Because honestly, if you were to ask me, hey, if your wife, who you've been married to for so and so years, and you fuck around all the time, and then you find out that she's fucking around, are you still sticking around? The answer would be no. You have a total. I'm not disrespecting that fact at all, because that is a fact. I'm hell yeah. So, but what I can say about that is that at the end of the day, there's certain expectations of a person, and these expectations have been set for the past 200 years in this culture. I'm not disputing, like, okay, so maybe in fucking other cultures, and Asian cultures, and Greek cultures, going back to Spartans and Greeks and all that other bullshit, maybe things are different, right? Maybe definitely things are way different back then. But as of right now, like, okay, me, like, the way I would see it is that, okay, if I fuck around, I don't love the person that I fuck around with. I love you. This person that I'm fucking around with is not the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, because I view it in the sense that the only reason that a woman would want to marry you, would want to really be with you, is because she loves you to death, right? She'll be able to work through all that bullshit, be able to work through all that. And you know what? Maybe, and it is, don't get me wrong, guys will cheat because it's some sort of like fucked up thing in our head where it tells us that we disconstrue certain emotions and certain relations to what it means to be loved and desired and shit like that, right? So you have a total fucking point there, and there is that double standard, and I mean that's all I can say. You're totally right. There is a double standard from that.
So let me say this. Let me say this in terms of a double standard, Yanni. This is where it keeps happening, where a lot of women will project themselves and project femininity on a man. We don't function the same way, so there really isn't a double standard because we're not in the same category.
In the literal sense, there is a double standard, but in the
No,
emotional,
in a little sense, if you're comparing just two humans, but we, you know what I'm saying, we don't look at things the same way. You know what I'm saying? We don't. I'm not condoning it though, but I just want to put out there. I feel like the sooner we understand a woman is a woman and a man is a man, and we have our own systems, the better it is. Because again, there are so many different double standards all throughout there, all throughout history. Women cannot get drafted at all. They can't get drafted. Women get free drinks. Men do not get free drinks.
I would
there's
say
many different.
I would say in a sense, like, if I fuck around, it's because there's certain needs that, like, I have to try and get. There's certain desires that I want to just explore, so on and so forth, right? Just like to really get to sow my wild oats, because that's what it is. Men are stallions. We're trying to get that fucking shit out there. But for a woman to step out of the household, all that means to me, I don't know if that means anybody else, but when a woman steps out of the household to try and get those desires met, it is a lack of love. Just because
that, and I want to capitalize on that too.
Yeah,
a lot of the times when a woman does something, like she walks out, it is not like a physical, like you're not pleasing me. It is like a whole disdain for that dude, and usually it resorts into like divorce or breakups. It's not like I can do both things at once, because the way that a woman feels about the relationship is different from the way that a man feels about relationships.
Like, that is 100% true. I'm sorry, that is 100% true. But like the way movie said, there is a standard that they have, for women. But just like women, we have a standard for men that we expect you to be loyal, do this and this and that. But main thing is loyalty. But like the way you said, you would step out. Is why wouldn't you talk to your partner first? About what would you like to do, and then if things still aren't met, that's whenever you do elsewhere. Because obviously I don't condone cheating or whatever, but that is.
I don't either. I don't either.
If I could ask you a question, Yanni, if you would rather have a man who loves you to death, try and meets all your needs, if you communicate them, if there's that matter of communication, right? You tell him, hey, honey, I need this. I need that. I need so on and so forth. I need this. Can you give it to me? And he says, yes. I'm going to try my hardest because you are my wife, because you are the mother of my children. I'm going to meet those needs for you. But I'm going to step out. Or would you rather have somebody that says, I don't know, like, yo, no, nah, dude, because, like, what are you putting into this? I'm fucking working. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Like, what the fuck? I mean, come on. And he steps up at the same fucking time. If you don't feel that love, that fucking personal love, because that's the main difference between men and women, is because you love us and you marry us because you feel that love unconditionally. Men, we will love you unconditionally and try and do those things. Try. Maybe we might succeed, maybe we might not. But at the end of the day, we're fucking trying to make you happy and to get the things that you want, you feel you need to make you fucking happy. But at the end of the day, hey, then this is where the respect thing comes from us speaking earlier. You're the mother of my children. You're my wife. I'm not gonna fucking choke you. I'm not gonna slap you. I'm not
What
gonna.
if she wants? But what if she wants that though? What if she's asking for it?
But if she but then there's also the age perspective of it, right? So, a person, if we've been married together 20 years, 15 years, you're in your 40s. You don't want to do that. What person?
No, you. I'm gonna tell you.
Don't get me wrong. Okay. Oh yeah. Like people in their 40s. I fucked around with people in their fucking 40s who love that shit because their husband would never do it. You never communicate that to me. It's just a matter of like.
Let me say this. Hold, give me 1 second. Let me let me get another perspective. C-Bomb, what's going on, bro?
I'll be right back.
Easy, man.
Yeah, sure.
Literally, all I'm getting from this conversation that's going on is that movie respects his wife to the point where he feels he has to cheat on her. That makes literally no sense. If you had that respect for a woman or your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, you wouldn't cheat on them and you'd do exactly what Yanni says and you'd talk to them first. You'd get all that shit out in the open, and then if it doesn't sort itself out, you mutually end it. Don't cheat. If you're not happy, leave.
So here's the thing that I see, right? Because I talk to a lot of different people. I know a lot of different people. I'm not saying that I'm friends with them, not because I'm trying to, impress anybody, but I just talk to a lot of different people just due to my line of work, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I noticed, there are a lot of swingers. There's a lot of swingers, and there are a lot of husbands that just want to watch their girl getting another sexual escapade. There's that situation.
Yeah, but that goes down to a kink. That's just their kink.
I get it. No, I totally understand it. And I think when it comes to movie, there may be a little bit of that in there.
But they're not all he should really do. I mean, if he wants to go out choking people and slapping them, during sex, ask his wife if he's all right to do it. If not, then push the
you're gonna have to as people. And I'll say this. Let me balance the conversation, Yanni. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. There's a certain level of respect that you should have for your partner in general. So
yeah. And my point is that respect goes out of the window the minute you decide that you're going to cheat on someone.
See, there's caveats to that. To that. Because, go on, Yanni. Go on.
I'm sorry. I feel just like I'm saying that, correct. Like, as soon as you do that, respect actually goes out the window from my personal experience. Because to me, that's just not respect at all. Because just like the way his movie was telling me, like giving me the option, I'm honestly, and just like the way you're right, like, women, we are privileged. We go to the bar, whatever. I don't have to pay for drinks. Well, actually, I haven't even gone to the bar yet at all because we just turned 21, literally. But besides that, though, he's right. We do have privileges. But just like with me, I've left so many relationships because of the respect I have within myself. I personally will not put myself in that position because I've learned a hard lesson through my experiences that I will not allow a man to disrespect me in any type of way or form. Even with the relationship I am now, I've set my boundaries, I've set my standards, and I've told him if he's crossed them, I must simply leave. Because I know for a fact, women, the only thing I have to do on Instagram is literally post a picture and bam, I already have people DMing me and stuff like that. But just like women, we don't have to reach out like the way men do. So to me, it's more of a like, oh, I still have options. Men, they have to go find their options. But personally, I will not stay in a relationship where I feel and I know that I am getting cheated on. Because one, if you cheat on me, that's not love. If you want to do stuff and stuff like that out of the extraordinary in the bedroom, whatever, that I'm not meeting, talk to me. Because that's where it's like, oh, we're supposed to communicate. I'm supposed to fulfill your needs. You're supposed to fulfill mine. But there shouldn't be a either or, because that's how, like, marriages end up ending. And I personally will not. I would just go ahead and leave.
Well,
Yeah, I would.
yeah.
I would.
Oh, yeah.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So, I guess this is what I think that movie is coming from, right? And I have to play devil's advocate in every avenue, right? To be fair, I don't think he wants to defile his home. You know what I'm saying? With the things, with the kinks that he's into. You know what I'm saying? Or just, bring that into that particular.
But by that extension, that would mean that he's in some way, shape, or form embarrassed by those kinks.
That's what kinks are not. A lot of kinks are hidden.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't want to mention their kinks, whether it's cheating or whether it's something else. They don't want to mention it. I will say this, Johnny.
What I mean is, if he's unwilling to speak to his wife about these kinks and whether or not she's satisfying these kinks or not, if he's unwilling to talk about these to the woman he supposedly loves, that shows that he's got insecurities about those kinks and he's unsure as to whether those kinks are actually his or whether he's just coming up to a social standard.
But everybody is going to have some sort of insecurities. But let me just mention this, right, Yanni? Like I said before, there's a certain respect that you should have for anybody, like your friends or whatever the case is. I just got into a really big situation, right? And people are going to get mad. They probably call me a coon. The N-word doesn't bother me at all. I don't really give a hell who uses it. I don't care. I know where it came from. I just don't care. I don't care. Like, words isn't going to destroy me. You know what I'm saying? And if it does, I need to callous up. So, my friend would use that around me, being white, but then he was around my other friends, which was a black guy, and then that friend checked him and was like, "Yo, you can't say that." And out of respect for me and for my other friend, he stopped using it. There's a respect thing that goes along with it. So he won't cross that line no matter if he doesn't care about it or not. He may think that I don't really give a fuck about that word. I'm not using it in that kind of way, but he understands that that's something that other people are sensitive to. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing when it goes to cheating, but still recognize that men and women are different. Like, if it does happen, I feel like women are too quick to leave the situation if it does happen. And I feel like that's on that end, it usually happens that way. Like, it's just no coming back or whatever the case is. And it could have been, men are very weak to sex. Let me just say that, Yanni. 9 times out of 10, by our nature and by looks and shit like that, we are very weak to it. So if a girl, I'll tell you this, if you don't want me to cheat, like in my case, if you don't want me to cheat, which I never cheated in my life, but if you don't want me to cheat, I need you to not put any more provocative pictures of you working out on social media. Matter of fact, I need you to get rid of the social media. Unless it's just for your personal, that would be a respect. But a lot of the times women be like, you ain't going to control me. The fuck you going to tell me delete my social media? That's mine. That's the problem here.
It's just a matter of
compromises. The compromises. And you're right. There's always, but movie, I feel like before you even jump into this marriage, I mean, you can do whatever you're a grown man. I've never spoken to you, but I feel like you would probably, it would be of your best interest to kind of let your fiance kind of know that this is a possibility and that it isn't what you would, it ain't a personal thing going on.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I totally have. I'm not gonna I've spoken to her at many aspects of like, oh, that chick's fucking hot. Like, dude, fuck, right now, so on and so forth. She'll get mad, but she accepts it. That is a fact, because at the end of the day, it's a matter of respect. That's what I think of. That's the main thing. So every relationship is different, Yanni. I could totally understand that. If that is your cutoff, if that is your main thing, then and that's
So long
that's
as, so
what it
long,
is.
so you see, movie. So long as you let her know that that is a situation,
I
then
let her
that's
know that it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
then that's between, like I said before earlier, that's the thing for you. You know,
Yeah.
that's your relationship dynamic. Now for Yanni, she's like, if you cheat
No.
on me, that's fucking it.
And
You,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
my limit.
and I'm
Yeah.
not disrespecting, and that's a fact, and I can totally respect that. Don't get me wrong. Like if I'm with you and I fuck around and you leave me, all I can say is, well, fuck, man. I fucking played the game. It fucked me over. I already knew where the limit was, and that's it. That's
But
it.
I don't feel like you should be creeping around. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as she knows that there's a that's some, you know, you are extremely weak to it. You know what I'm saying? And there's something
Oh,
come along,
oh yeah.
then that's a whole other topic. But in
Yeah. Of
general,
course, that's just
on a,
that's just a matter of fact because she's aware. She knows who I am as a person. To be honest, she wouldn't be marrying me if she didn't know me, right? So she wouldn't be taking that step and taking that leap of faith until she can accept who I am as a person. That's the main thing. Like this is who I am. I'm a fuck up. I like to write. I like to write music. I like to.
I've got a
fucking
question
read
for you,
books.
movie. I've got a
Please,
question for you.
please.
Say the roles were reversed, right? And it was the wife who had these urges and these kinks, and she came to you and she told you about these kinks and everything like that. How would you react?
Oh, okay. So we spoke about that earlier. So if she made that aware to me, because I love her, because I respect her so much, I'm going to try and meet those kinks as hard as I can. But and this is a double standard as to what Yanni said. Like that's a double standard because what if I did that? That's a total fact. But for men, the only reason that a woman would step out of line is because there is a total lack of love. I love you. I may or may not fuck around because there's certain things I wouldn't want to do to you out of respect because you are the mother of my children. But if you were to do the same thing to me, is not because I'm not meeting those things. It's because you don't respect me and you do not love me enough to give me the chance.
So what's the difference? What's the difference in the respect of you doing that and the wife doing that?
The main difference.
It's all just a lack of respect. Isn't it?
so wait, C-Bomb. This is what I was saying before, and I feel like there's too much of this, especially on Twitter. There's too much of this shit, which is screaming for equality of man and woman when we're not the same entity. And that sounds fucked up, but I don't know how else to put it. We're just not. Women don't suffer from post-nut clarity. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that issue. As a matter of fact,
instead they've got post-orgasm clarity.
Well,
You know?
if I could ask
They've
you,
got post-orgasm clarity, bro.
if I could ask you a question,
a woman bonds harder after they come because they don't even come the same way that we do.
The point is, all sex leads to a connection, regardless of the sex of the person. If you're a male or if you're a female, if you're having sex on the regular with a certain person, that intimacy will always grow.
You can't relegate it to such a simple. You can't just say it's just, oh yeah, there is a connection there. You're absolutely right that you know how to handle her, and he knows how to handle her. So it's there is going to be some sort of connection there, or whatever the case is. Shit, there's connections between friends, but again, when it comes to sex, we don't function the same way, and just men in general are not the same people. We're not the same. So the whole theory on double standards, which really pisses me off every time I hear this shit, it bothers the hell out of me. It's not the same thing. If you're going to scream out double standards, then women should be paying for men's dinner and chivalry there and open up my door and shit like that. And that sounds nice in concept, but it's not a part of the nature of a man.
I'll give you an idea. I'll give you an idea.
Well, I'm sorry.
Me and my missus,
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
So
I'm sorry.
we take it 10. So 1 minute, 1 week I'll pay, the next week my missus will pay. I this entire concept of the man has to do everything. I cannot comprehend it.
I didn't wait. Hold on. Wait, C-Bomb. I never said that they should do everything. I do believe wholeheartedly, and it's been like this beyond these concepts. There's certain dynamics, even with the animal kingdom. There's certain dynamics between man and woman. They don't both do the same thing.
Yeah,
they don't both do the same thing.
I'm sorry.
That's the animal kingdom's intellect.
No, hold on. Let me let Yanni go on. Let me let Yanni chime in.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna chime in, but you are right. We do expect, certain things from the relationship. But to me, the way I actually manage my relationship, which has happened recently because my boyfriend was out of a job for a while, but guess what? Like, I was like, no, I'm here. I'll pay for our dinners, this and that, whatever. I have.
Oh well, but if I can interrupt, Yanni, that's the main difference right there. Is because from my position, what I'm speaking about is I'm meeting those fucking bills. I'm working that overtime. I am not letting myself be in the position where I have to rely on you. We may rely on each other, right? We may do some 50-50. Like, oh, you know what, honey? I had to pay for my fucking insurance bill a little bit higher because of a car crash. So I might need your help. But I'm going to pay you back because that's not something that you should be taking care of. That's something that I should be taking care of as a man.
And that I understand.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
It's backwater bullshit, that. I'm sorry, but it is. That's some really old shit.
Wait, you keep cutting out there. C-Bomb, what were you saying?
That's a...
One at a time. C-Bomb?
All I'm saying is that that's like the same kind of mentality from the 1920s. It's old-fashioned, it's outdated, and it doesn't fit with modern-day standards.
Well, I mean, but if you look at modern-day standards, C-Bomb, if you do look at modern-day standards, you're looking at fucking people stepping online on the daily. You're looking at people fucking around on the daily. You're looking at somebody who's been together but not technically married for the past 6 years, and they're fucking around having baby mamas, having not baby mamas. If I could be totally honest...
And it has been for the past few years. What you're saying is people are stepping up on daily, basically what you've just said you would do if your needs weren't getting satisfied by a woman.
Look, that I understand, but the thing is...
Hold on, wait. You don't go on, Yanni.
Like, I understand what you were saying, like, you have to pay her back, whatever, but the thing is, if your partner doesn't have it, like, let's say my man doesn't have it, I'm supposed to be the one to step in. And because of the way, like, I was taught, as a child, from seeing my parents, my dad didn't have it, my mom had it, and stuff like that, so my dad could get back on his feet, and then bam, there goes, my mom relying on my dad again. So that's the way I portray my role. Yeah,
it's a support. You're right, it's a support thing. So here's what I don't like about the liberal mindset and just modern setup that's going on here. What really pisses me off, right? If we were to just fall into this modern setup, right, it's falling apart. Clearly, it's not working. Clearly, there's so many scientific pieces of evidence and examples as to why it doesn't work, where everything should be equal. Eventually, it falls apart. For a woman in general, right? They have their own strengths and weaknesses like we do. A man is more hardy. And we don't have as many emotional connections like a woman does. And the reason why is because we are built to work. That's what we are built to do. We have tougher skin, denser bones. We are bigger typically. We are stronger typically. And we don't get caught up in the minutia of other people mentally. Women are social creatures. You know what I'm saying? So to think that everybody is equal is delusional to me.
I mean, it's pretty rare for a man to find like a good woman where she'll actually put in the effort.
On both sides, really.
On both sides, it is
really
a fact.
Rare. But the thing is, a woman will put in their all for a man that they actually love and see a natural future with. And women do that for like a lot of men, if I'm being honest with you. But because, men do tend to cheat, like the way this conversation is about. Well, even women do. But the thing is, well, I personally haven't, but the thing is, it's just the way I've set my relationships and stuff like that because of the way I've been raised. And honestly, like, the way you're raised actually does develop a lot on the way you will treat your relationship.
Well, at that point, it's a fucking sociological aspect at this point, right? So don't get me wrong, like you can say that about men, they'll step out, but I've seen plenty of women step out with no reason whatsoever.
No. There's a reason. There was a reason for women to step out.
Oh
And that's
no, no.
because,
So
and this is what. Hold on. Let me say this. Let me just say this. There's definitely a reason why a woman will step out, and a lot of men can't stand this. And the reason why they can't stand this is because men have been fucking domesticated into believing that there is no difference between the two. People get pissed off when you mention that there's a clear fucking difference. There is a clear difference. Even women are starting to fucking notice. You had the fucking swimmer that blew those chicks out the water and claimed that she was a fucking, or he was a woman, and they're like, no.
Oh well, we're stepping into like trans rights bullshits, which some
No,
things I don't
I'm
get
not.
into.
I'm not stepping into it in that particular regard. What I'm stating, hold on, let me message him. What I'm stating is that there's a clear fucking difference. I'm not trying to go into trans shit at all, but there is a difference biologically, and it needs to be fucking known. It needs to be known.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So it poses my question from before, Yanni. Is like, would you rather have a man that you're married to, that you're legit married to, who's willing to meet those fucking needs that you have, as trying as hard as he fucking can to try and put everything that he can give into this relationship because he fucking loves you. You are his wife. You're his wife. You are his fucking. That's the only reason that he married you. Would you rather have that and he steps out every once in a while? Or would you rather have a fucking piece of shit who has no fucking prospects, no this or that, has 2 baby mamas already, and he's telling you every fucking day that oh, I love you, honey, I love you. No, honey, don't even worry about it. No, honey, it's just me and the boys. We're just hanging out. It's just me and the boys. We're hanging out. It's not like that. It's a big fucking difference between men. And that is a sociological aspect as to who I should be as a person. And you're totally right. And I can respect the fact that you're saying, like, hey, if a man cheats on me, I'm done. Which is totally your fucking right. Totally your fucking right.
Can I just intervene just really quickly? Yanni, this is not to condone cheating. I can't stress that enough. And for anybody that's listening, me personally, I don't cheat. If I were in movie's situation, and I've met people like this, the man would tell the girl up front, or the girl would tell the man up front, right? That's their lifestyle. And they would like for them to be a part of it, where they swing. And if they're not a part of it, or if they don't want to do it, that's fine. Then they have to move on and stuff like that.
I wouldn't swing it on. Not at all.
No, I'm not saying that everyone does, but I actually spoke to somebody today. Honest to goodness. See, for me personally, right, is I'm the kind of person anybody that knows me already know that I'm kind of unorthodox in the way. I went to a nude beach today.
Oh, it's good.
And what I'll do, I don't go to the beach for anything kind of sexually at all. There's nothing sexual about the beach.
It's a cultural thing. It's like you're.
It really is a cultural thing. That's pretty much it. But I do speak to people. Great. I speak to people, and he told me straight up. He's like, I told her that go on my page. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. And she decided to do it, and then they're happily whatever that they're doing. Every relationship is different, and I'll say this: I had a show last week on this one. I have a YouTube channel that's also called Illicit Therapy, and this is actually like these things are recorded. But the last show that I had was
it's recorded. It's recorded. Oh, prank caller.
The last time the last show was called Low Value Girls, and one of the phenomena that I did see is that women will look at a guy in some sort of hypergamous way, and when they're looking at this guy, they fall in love with what they have and their future and their prospects, not the actual guy. This is why when I did go to the beach, right, Yanni, there was a 30-year-old girl, and she was dating 31 years old, and she was dating a 63-year-old man, right? And the guy knew what it was, and she knew what it was. She was getting flown out everywhere. He gave her lip injections and all sorts of shit, right? And that's how you know that there's a difference. It's very hard for a man to have sex with somebody that age gap is crazy. But a woman will look at a guy's resources or what he can do or his genetics in general. So if a girl sees a guy that is tall with a full-on beard or whatever you girls like about a guy, right? That's what typically a woman will fall in love with. Oh my God, my kids are gonna look so awesome. Oh my God, I want to have his babies and stuff like that. And then a woman, hold on, wait, I'll let you go. A girl would see the girl would ignore all red flags and just target what the fantasy that they created with their either their prospects, their the monetary gain or their genetics. And then when it doesn't work out, or if the guy steps out, because again, a lot of women nowadays, a lot of people, but women in general don't have this issue where society will literally destroy them for being low value, right? A woman could be completely low value and society will say that she is very high value. You know what I'm saying? That's the double standard that's out there. Like we see memes all the time. A woman can be 370 pounds, literally, and they've said that she's brave and she's strong and everything else. A guy and she could be on the fucking Sports Illustrated, right? A guy that is that big, he can't be on Men's Health.
Nope.
Society will never want that shit, ever, never. And this is the difference. There's an accountability thing. A woman, I'll just say this last bit. Somebody jumped in there. I can't see him. Here's the thing. A woman will sit here and be like, I'm not going to target somebody that's in my class bracket, right? Because I would have to, at this point, have something to offer. And what they will typically do is they will use their degrees or they will use their salary and say that I've earned this. I want somebody to be on this level when men are never looking for anything like that. We don't care about your money or anything else.
No. If I could speak about that, like, don't get me wrong. There's certain misconceptions about certain men that are only looking for that thing. So, if my whole thing is, it's a matter of love. It's a matter of love, right? Like, do you love this person? Yes, I love this person. I'm gonna fucking marry this person. This person's my one and everything. There's plenty of men. There's plenty of men and women who are on the other side of that, which is this person worthy of my standing? I know who I am. Am I gonna fuck around with this person? No, that's just who they are. So I can respect who you are, Yanni, which because like the only reason I'm even with this person is because they fucking love me, because they're not willing to step out and so on and so forth. And that's a fact. I could totally respect that. Me personally, dude, at the end of the fucking day, as long as I'm not disrespecting my wife, as long as I'm not fucking doing this, like, and even Illicit asked me this question, if it's 6 months, you're getting married in 6 months, are you fucking around right now? The answer is no, because it is a lack of respect. Who you are as a person shows how much respect you're willing to give. Am I gonna fuck? If I was willing to fuck around with some other side bitches 6 months before my wedding, I would not even be married right now. That is not a fact. So, but don't get me wrong. I understand who I am. 2 years from now, and you asked me a question like, hey, how long? Oh, 2 years if there's kids, 5 years if there's not kids. That's how long I'm willing to wait until it's like, okay, blah, blah, and then maybe some shit happens. But at the end of the fucking day, I'm not fucking disrespecting my wife. I'm going out of the house where she's not aware. She's not fucking like so and so forth. Because if there is at any point where I'm doing something like that and she is aware of it, she sees it, that is me disrespecting her, and that is not who I am. And that's
let me say this. Yeah, going, Yanni, because that's what I was going to ask you.
Please.
Yeah. So basically, you're telling me that just because it's just Hispanics, we have this saying that's like, oh, eyes that don't see, heart that doesn't feel. So basically, that's what you're telling me. But the thing is, you're saying you're not disrespecting your wife just because she doesn't know, but in reality, you're actually still disrespecting your wife. Because guess what? You're actually in a relationship with her, and especially because one, you're about to get married. But the thing is, you're like, oh no, it's not disrespect because oh she doesn't know, but in reality it's still disrespect. But
Oh,
let's say if your
well,
wife was the one to do it, it would be disrespect to you. But guess what? You
yeah,
wouldn't know about it.
of course. Well,
No,
if you
but
think about
it's
it,
double
Yanni,
standards.
if you think about Yanni, like how easy it is to cheat. How easy is it to cheat? It's so fucking easy. It's so
It is
fucking
easy,
easy.
but I haven't
It
done it.
is.
I
It
haven't done it.
exactly. And exactly, if I'm not trying hard enough to hide it from you, if I'm not willing to take that extra step to make sure that you're not even aware of it, that's me disrespecting you. That is literally me. Like, oh, like I don't give a fuck. Whatever. I'm gonna fuck this little hoe and so on and so forth. Who cares? Whatever. She's still there. I don't care. I don't care.
Well,
That is
let me ask
so
this. Let me ask this
disrespectful.
question. Let me ask you a question. If a guy remains safe, right? No condoms, whatever there is to be safe, and he does this without you knowing. How much would it? Oh, hold on. Let me ask her a question.
Yeah.
How much would it matter to you if you never found out?
It honestly matters to me 100% because I'm telling you, I've been in that situation, and it was to the point that I don't like to put in my personal information out there. But the thing is, whenever I did find out, I literally immediately went and go get tested, stuff like that. Because to me, it's just something I will not tolerate. Because one, you're putting my life at risk. You're putting my health at risk. I don't know what they have.
Yeah,
But
of
things like,
course.
I don't know what they have because men are. I'm not gonna lie, no offense to y'all, but men are weird. Just like women are weird too. Like there's men you consent to doing intercourse with. But the thing is, they're like you'll be like, oh, the girl will say, oh no rubber, no nothing, and they'll be like, oh okay, and then bam, men end up taking it off. Not all men, but some men do because some men are weird.
You know what, Yanni? You know what, Yanni? I beg to differ. Because almost every woman that I had an encounter with did not care if I had a condom or not. That's number one. Number two,
where do you live? Where do you live?
I'm like in a tri-state area.
Don't get me wrong. Like, come on, I'm asking. Like, do you live in the New York area, the California
New York area?
Oh well, shit. Well, there you go, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah. I mean,
what about you? Where are you at?
I'm in South Texas.
Oh, Texas. Okay. Oh shit.
Yeah, that South Texas. So there's a cultural difference between me and illicit. So
yeah, there's a giant cultural difference. I'm going to Texas. I think what is it? September sometime. Anyway, so
yeah,
I have a couple of friends that's over there.
Yeah, so from what I'm saying, Yanni, like, don't get me wrong, like, okay, so there's difference in culturals where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna fuck around every weekend in my perspective because I live in South Texas, fucking small little things here and there. Maybe I can fuck around, maybe or not. When I fuck around, it's not every weekend. It's like once every 6 months. I mean that's
here's the thing, and where I live at, right?
Yeah.
If this was a problem for on the guy side, why are there so many women that are pregnant and then they keep the kid?
Oh well,
I could tell you right now.
Well, that's
hold on. That's the whole other thing. But but what I'm saying is, if they got pregnant, it's a good shot that there was no condom involved.
Yeah.
There was no condom involved, and there was a girl. She took offense that I was going to get my condom from the car, and it fucked up the whole mood.
Oh, of course, because and that's just a culture.
She was like, oh, you trying to say I'm a hoe? And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, like no, yeah, no, dude, like what the fuck? Rep your Jimmy, bro, rep your Jimmy.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know on that, and of course a guy is gonna be like, that's. But here's the thing, Yanni, that's your entrance. Yanni, that's your entry. You know what I'm saying?
From Yanni, if I could ask, if that's okay. Where are you from?
I'm Texas as well, Houston.
Oh, well, there you go, dude, because I could totally appreciate the fact where you're coming from. Like, yo, if I'm fucking around, if I'm from San Antonio, if I'm from Dallas, from Boston, there's a big fucking
Houston is fucking red hot with fucking diseases.
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. Like, some people are weird. Like, there's women that obviously, like, some women don't care if you don't
care at
all. I would. Because is it like that's just
Yeah.
I don't know what you have.
So
It's just like I literally went to a clinic like a minute ago whenever I want to go get my birth control. But the thing is, it's like I saw this poster that literally said, "Oh, if you sleep with your partner probably has two more partners, and those partners have two more partners, and so on and so on." But the thing is like you don't know what you can get from that person. So that's what I'm telling you. Like there are women that are weird, and just like there are men that are weird that they take offense whenever you ask them to use protection.
No. I can appreciate so. Here's what we can say. That there's so we've been speaking out of it. We've been speaking about this as a man and woman difference, but that is not the case. Because in Yanni's situation, exactly where she's from, the fact that there's so much risk involved. Exactly. There's so much risk involved with that. Like, oh my God. Like, dude, if you're fucking around and you're fucking with some other hoe, who the fuck knows what? It's like, what the fuck did I catch?
It's so easy.
It's
people
so
are
easy.
you know what? I'll say this. I'll concede and say that people are irresponsible nowadays, like super irresponsible.
Yeah.
They're irresponsible, flagrant, whatever you want to call it, and that's a big problem. But I want to say this. I want to say this though, because and you know what, movie? If you like, we probably would have to have like I don't want all people's business out there like that. There's some things I wanted to ask. I have a Discord if you wanted to click onto the little link that's in there.
If I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I only fuck around with this because this is the most anonymous space for me. Like it's like anonymous. It's easy for me to because it's like who cares? It's like it's bullshit. It's just fucking.
Damn, I can't relate because three of my friends are like literally just came into the freaking chat. Hey, Python.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Oh well, hey, I gotta go, guys. So y'all have a good night, Yanni. Hey, more power to you, dude. You gotta be safe. What everything that you said makes fucking sense. That is totally fine. And illicit, dude, what you're saying, it makes fucking sense. It's just a matter, for me personally, it's just a matter of respect, how far you're willing to go. And in Yanni's situation, if you're fucking around like that, there's disrespect. If you're not using a Jimmy, and especially for you, Illicit, it's just a matter of, like, dude, if I may fuck around, I'm taking the steps to make sure I do not bring that shit home. That's all it is for me. It's like if I fuck around, that's me fucking around. If I catch something, that's me catching something. If I would ever, that's why before I even asked my wife to marry me, before I asked her to marry me, I got tested. Before we even had sex, because I 6 months in, we haven't fucked around. 6 months in, I got tested. I'm totally clean. Okay, I'm gonna fucking marry you because I'm in a position to do so. I'm not gonna fucking hurt you. The person that I love, the person that I fucking love, to do that shit for me. It's crazy.
I'm sorry, like right before you leave, like I have a question for you. What if you would have gotten like some type of STD? Would have you still married your wife?
If it was like an easy STD like gonorrhea or some other bullshit where I can get rid of it with this, I would make her aware of it and let her make the decision. If it was like something crazy, HIV or AIDS, I would break it off right then and there. I would not put anybody. Yeah, that's the main thing. Like, if I was in that, no, dude, I'm not gonna. Because I love her so much, I'm willing to step away to not hurt her. That's the main thing. That is the main thing. Because I'm not trying to ruin anybody's fucking life because I'm a little fucking horn dog. It's bullshit. That's yeah, dude. That's what it is.
You got a weird way of loving, but okay, go off, I guess.
No, that's how it is. That you like when you start, because if you've been in Houston the whole time, and do you mind if I ask you what nationality are you? Movie.
I'm Hispanic. Hispanic.
Okay.
So we're full of passion. You know what I mean? But I'm smart enough to understand. There's like, I'm not.
There's a cultural thing too within that, like within each race. So or each race.
It really is. It really is.
If I'm being honest with you, it's more of like machismo. If I'm being honest with you, for men.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
It's really machismo.
That's why I appreciate the Italian aspect of it so much. That's why I was speaking to these Italians like, yo, man, don't take it to your house. Don't you respect your fucking wife. You don't do that to your fucking wife. I could appreciate that because there's that machismo, that male fucking energy and male fucking respect. We live our life like that, Illicit. It's like a matter of yo, you don't step to my wife. You don't step to my family. Oh, I definitely do not hurt my wife. It's just a matter of doing that. And that's what pisses me off is because a lot of kids just aren't even aware of that, disregard it, who cares, oh, whatever happens. Like, no, dude, it's not like that, because your actions have a consequence at the end of the day. Whether it's sex, whether it's love or relationship, your actions are saying exactly who you are as a person. And who are you as a person? Me personally, I'm a fucking asshole, but you know what, I won't hurt my wife, I won't hurt my family, and I'll try as hard as I can to give my personal shit away from my family shit. That's who I am. And I gotta step away with that because I gotta pee and I gotta make a phone call. Y'all have a good night, guys.
You too. So Yanni, before I get out of here, if you're still here, I was just kind of curious about like all this shit that was said, right? About men and stuff like that, because it's very like, especially in this modern day, it's very hard to hear this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Arise, what's going on?
I was kind of like, I was kind of like shaking because I got kind of mad. Because it is kind of like, you know, because it's something that I have been through. So it's more of a like, wow, you know, like for me to hear, you know, like another man say all of that and try to justify his cheating while saying he still loves his wife. It's kind of like crazy to me. It's idiotic because it's just like, that is not love. But to him, in his head, it makes sense because men, you are right. They are wired differently than women. Because women, we do like project ourselves onto men. We want to be loved the way, you know, we love men. But the thing is, you know, like, just like he is right, you know, men are not, you know, the same as women. So that's why to me, it's just like, it's really, really crazy to see how bad and how low men will go in order to cheat just to like hide things from their partner. Because supposedly they love them, but to me, that is still not love.
The way that I could probably justify what he's saying, or make sense rather, is the best way I can put it, to make sense as to what he's saying. And Arise, you gotta like listen to this whole show, like go back and listen to the shit. This was really nice. This was a really deep ass show. I will say this. He probably don't want to. Okay. Here's another thing. Here's another what do you call it? Tidbit for men. Men do not like, they don't find it savory for women that have a high body count or have been extremely promiscuous.
You know,
right?
Actually, I had that conversation with my own boyfriend. It was like we had a conversation a while back ago about body count. And I was like, oh, you know, like mine's pretty low, his is pretty low. I'm like, okay, but then I was like, oh, what if you had a high one? Or what if I had a high one? He was like, I personally would not date you. And I was like, why? And he was like, oh, because it's just, he said my boyfriend is pretty nerdy. So he was like, oh, something about the whole, like, oh, the more you have sexual partners, stuff like that, the less likely your child will look like you, stuff like that. Something like that. I'm just like, okay, idiotic. Anyways, but the thing is, it says men, they have this thing in their head where they're like, oh, women are loose. They like, even the grown men to this day, they're like, oh no, because she has a high body count, no, she's loose. Not like, come on, like women have babies and it still goes back to its original size. The men,
oh no, let me say this. Let me say this. This is not about being loose. I promise you, it's not about being loose. What I can say, maybe he wasn't able to articulate what's happening. What I definitely can say is that it's because men are wired differently, right? It's a territorial thing. It's a wholly territorial thing, and it's a competition thing. You know what I'm saying? So like in our heads, when a woman have a lot of partners, we instantly, it's an insecurity. Can I meet up to those standards? And there's a legitimate insecurity too, because a lot of women, if she had different partners, and a lot of the more partners a woman have,
the more experience she has.
The more experience she has, and the higher her expectations become. You can't do anything vanilla anymore. I had a girl. She said she wanted me, and excuse it for being nasty, but she wanted me to spit in her mouth because her last partner did that, and she thought that she wouldn't like it,
but she did.
But she did, and I wasn't. I was like, I'm not vanilla, but that's way over. I don't even want to compete with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because she's kept being exposed to different experiences, and it's like I couldn't please her because you did way more than what I've ever done. You know what I mean? Way stepping way out of line of that, and it's just it's a disinterest, and we don't want it. We don't want that, and it's not, to be honest with you, because of how a woman works, and a woman basically is supposed to be picking the guys. If she's just letting any guy just do whatever just for no real reason, it's not ladylike. I mean, call it however way you want to see it, double standard or whatever the case is. It's not a woman trait to be having just be sleeping around. It just isn't. You know what I mean? Just like if a guy was like he only if he was a whole virgin, a woman would be looking at him a little bit sideways. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you'd be able to please me or anything. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
It's
if I'm being,
a lie.
I mean, if I'm being honest with you, it actually just personally, it really just depends on the type of woman that you get. Just like for women, it depends on the type of men that we get. Because at the end of the day, if you feel insecure about how many partners your woman has and you feel like you can't please her because you feel like she's actually been pleased before by other men, that personally is an insecurity, but it's something that you're scared of, that you're going to be like, oh no, I won't be able to like overpass that. Because, you know, what if it's like a size thing as well for men and stuff like that. Because women and stuff, if I'm being honest, most women that I've talked to, because I do body waxing and stuff like that. Obviously, I have these type of intimate conversations with my clients. They tell me most of the time that their needs aren't being met. But the thing is, with their other partner, they have been met. But the thing is, they stay with their partner because one, they love them, but the thing is, most of them tell me that like, oh, I rather talk to my partner and teach them how to please me, and over than going ahead and leaving because they love them. But for men, it's not the same thing. It's like it's an insecurity.
Well,
It's just
because it's a thing that really is a tangible. It's a tangible reality where a woman would not like a guy that's not willing to please them. There's guys that will sit there and make $1 million a year, or six figures to $1 million a year, right? And he can't please her in the bedroom, and there's not enough eating in the world to replace a phallic item, and she will find sex elsewhere. She knows that she don't want to leave that lifestyle of money, but she will cheat because he's not pleasing her sexually and stuff like that. And I'm not shitting on that at all. But what I'm saying is putting some kind of context to the situation. A woman, how can I put it? Like I keep saying that women are different from men. We already got that portion. But I will say this too. The expectation needs to be in check. It really does.
It honestly does, but the thing is, if you're willing to talk to your partner on how they can please you and stuff like that, that's whenever things communication actually really is key.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. In his case, he don't want to see his wife as a whore.
Yeah.
And in his mind, he's like, yeah, I have this appetite, right? I have this appetite, but at the same time,
he doesn't want his wife to fulfill his appetite.
Because what happens is, if she does, he's going to look at her differently, and he's not going to be attracted to her the way he is. I'm not condoning it, but when you see someone doing something that is out of character, you feel differently about them. Whether it's somebody lying, that's out of character, or you discover something about somebody and it's like, whether it's positive or negative, it's different. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, he doesn't want her image to be changed in his mind, so he will go elsewhere, whether she say it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Honest with you, it's honestly like a person-to-person based type of thing, because sometimes men, like, they get their kinks out and stuff like that with their partner, and then they see their partner now and they're like, oh my god, like, I love her even more. But then for him, it's like, oh my god, like, I'm disrespecting her. Or not even that, it's more like he doesn't want to see her as a whore. But it's just like a person-to-person thing, if I'm being honest, because everybody is wired differently. Just like women and men and men and women, they are completely different. But just like the way that they're different, communication is always key. But then again, communication, you can talk, but comprehension is actually what is key.
Yeah, because you could tell somebody shit all day and all night, man, and they don't even understand. They
Exactly,
don't get it.
comprehension. Exactly, comprehension is key. And it's like, yeah, communicate, you can talk whatever, but comprehension is key. But just like with that being key, it's like you do have to talk to your partner and stuff like that. Like, you know, tell them how you like it and all this and that, just to get somewhere. But honestly, like, just like women, we have something to put on the table, right? Men, they have something to put on the table as well. Just like you were saying earlier, you know, how like, oh, you guys are supposed to like pay for this, you know, take care of us and stuff like that. Women, we are supposed to, you know, like cook your food, clean the house. And I'm not gonna lie, like I am, like, even though, let's say if my boyfriend ever decides to be like, oh no, like I don't want you to work anymore and da da da, I'll be like, oh, you know, actually I still want to work because I do have my own business. But the thing is, you know, I'll be like, no, like I'm gonna still work. You can still take care of me, whatever. I'll put myself in my place, you know. Oh yeah, I'll be in the kitchen, clean the house, whatever. But you are gonna be the one to feel, you know, like you're gonna pay the bills, you're gonna do the yard work, you know, the men's work. Well, I have to do the women's work. But just like the way, you know, you are gonna have to help me because one, though what the yard work, whatever, it has to do it like what, like every once a week, twice a week. Women, we have to clean the house and cook every single day. At least help something, you do something around the house. At least wash the dishes. It is just mindful, just to help, because women, we have to come from work and we have to take care of the kids and still, you know, attend our husband and stuff like that, just like the way y'all said earlier. But the thing is, women, we feel like we get taken advantage of. So that's why, that is a reason why women cheat. Personally, like I said, I haven't cheated. I don't like to do that because I've been put in that position before. And I just wouldn't put that on anybody. But the thing is, men, they get too comfortable and then they do decide to cheat because they're like, oh no, well, like my wife is busy, she's not attending my needs and da da da. But guess what? Because she's trying to fulfill the needs that are at home.
Something needs to change, and it's not what we're doing now. Yo, what's going on, Jemiah? It's not what we're doing now. It needs to be something else, because if a man is doing so much work, you know what I'm saying? And taking care of the household, like making sure that house is there and providing. The old way of doing things is that the woman would cook because she wasn't working. She didn't need a full-time job. You know what I'm saying? She didn't need a job at all. So that was her job. While
Right, and
he
that I
goes out,
understand.
that's how it used to be. But things are super different now. You know what I'm
Yeah, they
saying?
are
Where
different.
you need more people to fucking
Work.
to do one thing, to do what a single person used to do. So something needs to change.
No, yeah, and
I
something
don't know
really
what it
does need
is
to
though.
change.
Huh?
In reality, something does need to change, but in reality, it's because one, things are getting more expensive. Look at the economy and stuff like that. Look at the water and everything. I mean, come on, we're going into a drought. Everything's changing. But the thing is, in the household and stuff, women, you know, we've came a long way, but look at what Roe versus Wade and stuff like that, it's actually taking us a step back. But the thing is, besides that, it's more of a like, we want to feel appreciated at home because it's like, oh no, now it's seen as like, oh no, well, my mom used to do this and this and that, but guess what? Like, your mom didn't work. And if she did work and stuff like that, guess what? She talked to your mother. She probably did not even feel appreciated at home because she felt like it was her job as well. The man usually comes home and just lay down, waits on the food and stuff like that. Most of the time, the mother has to be the one to show the face at school or even like that, you know, to still like partake in the child's
Because the
care.
guy was working. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, the mother could be working as well, coming home, still having to clean the
See,
house, you
no,
know, take care of the children.
the mother has to be working. It's so crazy nowadays. And I'm
Because
not
everything's
saying that,
expensive.
yeah, I'm not saying that it needs to go back the old way. I just said something different needs to happen because things are too fucking high.
I mean, yeah,
Everything is totally different. And you mentioned something before we close out here. You mentioned Roe v. Wade, right?
yeah.
Now, I don't think that was a setback at all. I feel like, and that's just the controversy, right? I don't think it was a setback at all. I don't think it is anything. It's per state, right? And if someone was, I can't say it, but if somebody was raped, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody had like a medical issue, all of that doesn't fall under abortions anyway.
Actually, if I'm being honest with you, like a lot of men really don't realize this, but the thing is, like you said, it doesn't set us back. But I think, like you said, it is state to state. But personally, for me, it does set me back because I am in the state of Texas. Trust me, I am in 100% full Republican state. There's no way of changing that. We almost did change that, you know, like for the election year and stuff like that. But the thing is, it does set us back so much because one, there's atomic pregnancies, you know, stillbirths and stuff like that. Women, like they said,
That's what I'm
Roe v.
saying. If
Wade-
you read that bill, it's not including any of that.
yeah, but
It's not including medical issues. It's just legitimate, straight up abortions.
Yeah, but the thing is, like us, you know, for you to have a stillbirth and stuff like that, the procedure is an abortion.
No, it
Really?
is, but it is, but medically, they're they're different, and that's not an abortion to this particular law, right? Let's say that they ban it. If they ban it, it wouldn't affect things like stillborns and shit like that. It wouldn't affect that. But what I would say is this, right? Men need a way out as well. Because there's too many things that, like, I'll put it to you like this. One of my best friends, his wife cheated on him. And then she told him that if she had a kid, right, that, you know, that she would straighten up.
Mhm.
And he had a kid with her. She basically lied to him. And she cheated on him again. He can't leave her, though. He
Actually,
can't
if
leave
I'm being
her.
honest with you, if I'm being honest with you, like, yeah, like I said earlier, women are really, really weird. There are some women, just like with my ex-partner. She was on that. She was, you know, how there's bitter baby mamas. She's on that, like, oh no, if you're not with me, you're not gonna see the baby type of stuff. So to me, it's just like, wow, you know, like instead of co-parenting and stuff like that, it could have been issued and stuff like that. Either way, he's still not shit, anyways. But the thing is, yeah, like, but the thing is, you know, it's like, it's honestly person to person. But if I'm being honest, personally, I may say this right now because I do not have any kids. I have a niece, but even like that, so I do not have kids, and I try to stand by this, even in the future if it were to happen to me.
hmm
I don't really knock on wood though, but the thing is, I personally will not stay. I always say this, even to my clients to this day. I always say, look, just because you have does not mean you have to stay in that relationship. Because the kids will be fine. They might be mad at you, whatever, but guess what? Eventually, they will understand. Children grow up understanding, but also again, women and men, but mainly women do this, that they are really, really weird and they try to manipulate their child and say, oh no, your daddy left you, da, 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 which is honestly really, really bad on the woman because it does end up giving, like, you know, the child to have a lot of hate towards their father.
Always,
Like
always.
yeah,
And it happened with my sisters a lot because
yeah,
they went out and they wanted that guy so badly and he didn't really want them like that. And
yeah.
so she kept the kid, right? There's a couple of them paying child support. You know what I'm saying? There's no way for a guy to opt out of being a father, but there's so many different ways. Let's say that Roe v. Wade wasn't overturned, right? There's so many ways for a woman to opt out of motherhood, whether it be adoption or abortions or different. Like I said, the double standards are fucking crazy. Even
Yeah,
if you let it go, if you let the Roe v. Wade situation go, give a guy an option to opt out of being a father financially, if that's the case, because a woman can do that as well.
I mean, yeah, we can because we do, like, we did. Well, in my state, we did. But the thing is, for women, we either have, you know, personally, it's because, like, I did have cousins that were in the system in Mexico. But the thing
Mm.
is, you know, with them, it's honestly really, really hard for people to actually adopt. Like, look at over here and stuff like that. It is a big procedure just for you to be able to adopt. That's why people are so, I feel like people that just say, oh, just put them, you know, in adoption, whatever, put them in the system. I feel like they are really, really ignorant because they don't know how hard it is to actually, you know, adopt a child. You know, just like for in Florida and stuff like that, they can't adopt a child anymore if they're gay. And on top of that, it's not even that. It's more of like the procedures that they have to go, the everything that they have to go through eventually, you know. But the thing
Well,
is,
even if it was just what do you call it? Even if it was just abortion, you know what I'm saying? Like screw the fucking adoption. Even if it was just abortion, a man should be able to opt out of being a father, just like
I mean,
she's
yeah.
able to abort the child. If that's
I
the
mean,
case,
yeah.
if you want to make it even Steven, that should be a thing, and it
I
never
mean, it
is.
is a thing actually. If I'm being honest with you, it is a thing because I mean, look, there's so many men that actually option out of being a father. They just walk away. You know, like that little joke. Oh yeah, my dad
If
was
she
wasn't
finds him,
raising that.
if she finds him, she can hit him up with child support, and he can't do a thing about it. This is how
But
the system is designed this way because the system gets a cut of the
it's a
child
business.
support. It's
It's
a
a business.
business, so
Everything in life is a
it
business.
behooves them to keep child support there. You know.
Yeah, because it's a business. But the thing is, like, they can't. The only thing that they can do is just either take money out of the taxes or put them in jail because they will not pay. But guess what? At the end of the day, they're still optioning out of being a father, even though if it's jail time or taking the taxes
No, I
away.
said fine. I mean, no, that's not. But that's not fair, though. That's not
Yeah,
fair because
it's not
a
fair.
woman should be if she okay. So if a girl can abort, then throw her in jail. Then you know what I'm saying? They even it out, and a woman can get away scot free in that particular situation. And I'm not saying scot free. I mean, she just have it's. I get it. It's her body. I get it. I totally understand it. But what I'm saying is financially, if he doesn't want to take care of the kid, he shouldn't be thrown in jail. You know what I'm
Yeah, he's
saying?
gonna be thrown in jail because guess what? Because then you're still
Or
keeping him
taxes. I
under
don't like you
custody.
don't. I don't think you understand how much money is removed from a man.
No, that I understand, trust me, because you know, like since my niece and stuff like that, the whole child support thing, I do understand. But the thing is, you know, men like if they don't want to take care of the child financially, you know, they don't have an option, but it depends on person to person basis. If you know, like if they talk it out, you know, and stuff like that or whatever. It honestly really depends on that on their, you know, personal situation on how they would decide to want to set it up. But even like that though, because I mean my dad, he's been the best dad that I've ever had and stuff like that. Like
That's
even though
how it
he's not, you
usually
know,
is in the Spanish community too.
yeah,
You
because I
guys
mean
are really tight,
no,
you know,
yeah,
tight knit.
we are. Trust me, like we really, really are. My dad has been the greatest dad I've ever had, and even like that, I'm not his biological daughter. But the thing is, he's been with me since I was 1 years old, and you know, my actual, you know, biological dad, he's in Mexico. He has not taken care of me at all. My sister's father has not taken care of her at all. Whenever she decided to reach out to him, he actually ended up saying, "Oh no, you're not my daughter." Then he reached out to her again, saying, "Oh well, I want money," and she was like, "No." So I'm telling you, it's like some men are really, really entitled. They still have the option, but again, it depends on their situation. But mind you, my dad has been the greatest father that I've ever had, and he's he's the best. He's the best thing I can say. But even though, like, even besides that, it just depends on their personal situation. If it's to them moving to a different country, to a different state, to them just like you know, like you said, you know, if the woman finds him, she'll give him child support thing, whatever. But it's honestly a personal issue basis on how they decide to settle it up. Because just like there is, like I said, women are weird. They do want to go ahead and trap men. Just like there are men that want to be weird and trap women. Just like when men, so I've had this with some clients. They told me that basically as soon as they get pregnant by their partner goes ahead and changes. They go ahead and start partying, doing this and this and that because guess what? They feel like a baby. It's not like, oh no, you're trapped, you're stuck with me. You gotta handle my BS. And it's not like that. That's why I'm just like that's why I say like no. And I've convinced some of my clients like like no, you're not supposed to go through that. Your partner's supposed to be, you know, there for you, not putting you through hell and back. And I've actually told them like no, leave them because you're not supposed even with children, you will go ahead in life. Children are not the reason why you should stay in a toxic relationship. Children will understand. And she was like, "Oh no, you're right."
I would say they need to, you know, honestly, they need to work it out for sure. I don't feel like, you know, it, once you decide to put a child in a situation, you know, now you have a duty, and
No, yeah,
to make sure that the child is in the best kind of situation that they can possibly be in.
no, yeah,
That's,
it is 100% true. But the thing is, I feel that way because you know the way I saw my mom. You know, whenever I was growing up, she was struggling at first and stuff like that. And but guess what? She pulled through before she ended up being with my dad. She pulled through. She found every single way to like put me and my sister ahead of life. Make sure we had a roof over our head. We were always put together, no matter what, no boogers, no nothing. Like, we were put together kids, like clean kids. And there's like women now that I see, like even fathers, they don't care. They literally let like women to be all dolled up in their kid as they're like in freaking 3 day old rags. And that's honestly wrong because it's honestly like I said, person to person basis, because it's just from what I've seen growing up. That's why I
yeah,
have this type of mindset. Everybody has a different mindset because of the way that they grew up. And even like that, they're like, if they're out here listening to Andrew Tate or whatever, it just depends on the influence that they've all had.
It stinks. It really does. I mean, I feel like, but there's always a universal situation that happens. You know what I'm saying? There's always something that is universal or a blanket when it comes to, experiences. I mean, we have our one-offs, and I can go on for days with my one-offs. They're all fucked up. And it's one of the reasons why I want to do like these particular spaces in general, and just kind of talk about, situations. I mean, I was just thinking, I didn't think I was going to get the type of people that joined in here, but I guess it was an interesting conversation for people that really see the inner workings of a man's mind. Yeah, someone else's mindset. I didn't think it was going to be like that.
That's literally the only reason why I joined, because I'm practicing on doing lashes and stuff like that, and I just got the notification of like, a little like whatever voice chat, whatever, of why men cheat. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and listen to this because I
Well, thank you so much for jumping in. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Hopefully, I hear from you again. I need a woman's perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you had a couple, like 3 of my friends joined too, and one of them was roasting me in the group chat, like, look at this dumbass in this freaking chat. I'm like, okay. So, it was funny, though.
It is what it is. I mean, it was very interesting to hear. It was very interesting to hear that, what's the name, Movie's perspective, man. But I will have to give him respect, though, because that was real shit. It's not often that you hear people really put their shit out there and then try to justify it in their head. Yeah.
Let's just hope his wife doesn't find out about this.
No, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, he hasn't gotten married yet, but I really do implore him to tell her, because you know what it is. He knows that he probably won't have a wife that will put up with that shit, and he don't want to do it.
It is true, because men stay where they know that they're comfortable, or where they know they have something, grounded. That's the thing. That's why a lot of men, what they say is like, men don't marry the woman that they love. They marry the woman that, they've already had, past with, something like that. Because they're just something that they're used to. Just like the way some people, or women even in general, they stay in toxic relationships or go back to their toxic relationship because that's what's the only thing they know.
Which is terrible. It's terrible. But it is what it is. It does. But yeah, let me get the hell out of here. Get ready for work tomorrow. Yo.